Hello, my name is Justin Stairs and this is the Brussels Signal Studio. We're very happy today to have Thomas Zdechovsky. Mr. Zdechovsky is 43 years old and is a Christian Democrat. He comes from the Czech Republic, or Czechia. I've learned that you can say both. And his party is the KDU-CSL party in Czechia, which sits with the EPP group in the European Parliament. As usual, Mr. Zdechovsky, I would like to spend maybe just a few minutes on you before we talk about the EU, the big EU themes of the moment. I've made some notes based on what I found on the internet. You have 3 master's degrees. You founded your own PR company. You've been an MEP since 2014, and you've written 4 collections of poems. Can you say a bit more about that, please? How did you get into poetry? What started that?
The part of education of my family, because I come originally from the aristocratic one, it's to learn how to interpret poems and how to write poems. Also, it was part of education as the horse driving. Also, it was something that was essential for my parents to understand and to have each chance to express yourself in poems.
So it was your parents who taught you, essentially?
Yeah. Especially my father. He was teacher. My mother, she was the doctor. She was pediatrist. Also, my father take care about it. That my father wrote a lot of poems. He was really famous worker with the words, and he knows very well the Czech language and all the details. And
so you took it on from your father, basically. It's sort of like a family tradition.
His language was very rich. Also, I learned from him a lot of things, and especially the part of education was our history. I think that not so many children in school knows very well history like me. Second things was the religion. Also, I learned from him how to read the Bible and all the things about the Catholic religion, and third was it poems.
And that's very interesting, because I also, according to what I've read, you're a bit frustrated with the decline of Czech culture. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
So does that mean that you believe that children should be more involved in poetry and history? Is that what you mean?
It means that children have to need what is it nature, what is it base of their life, and I think that they need to be educated in abstractive and concrete things, also the factual, and to have it part of abstraction, because they can imagine, they can understand much more better the world.
Both abstract and concrete education. That's what. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, now let's move on to politics. We're here in the EU quarter, in the centre of Brussels, and I know that today, obviously, this is mid-July, and the Ukraine war is raging. I know that you've been involved personally in a call within the European Parliament for European Union member states to provide F-16s for Ukraine, correct? And if I read correctly, you've convinced, is it around 30 of your colleagues to sign a declaration or an open letter calling for these transfers? Why are you doing this, please?
Because it's essential. We are now pressing Ukraine to make the offensive against the Russian army. But how you can do offensive without aeroplanes? Also, the part of the offensive have to be aeroplanes that are supporting the tanks, etc. Ukraine army has everything what they wanted, but only one thing what is still missing are aeroplanes. We send it there all MiG-29s. No one has it, this mix, and or Su, where the Russian provider, also from Slovakia, from the Poland, from the
old
Bulgaria,
planes, basically.
We send it to Ukraine.
Right.
But it's not enough. Russia is still producing new and new Su, new and new MiGs, new and new aeroplanes, what are bombarding the Ukraine position. Also, how to react? There is absolutely essential to send it some aircrafts, and what is one of the best is F-16.
Right. And why do you think there is hesitation?
I think that leaders are taking now much more care about the internal things. They are saying that we send it there enough of military support, and they don't take care about actual situation. But I spent it in Ukraine many of days. When the war started, I was first MEP who went to Ukraine.
Oh, really? You were the first?
Yeah, and I brought the children and women with charity, Czech charity, to the Czech Republic, and we organize a lot of events and
Right.
humanitarian aid. And from this time, I really learned fun things. When I was crossing the Lvov, the Russians were bombarding the airport, and it was 2 kilometers from me.
When you cross the border?
Yeah, I crossed the border and I went to the Zolochev because there was the center, the humanitarian center, and from here they sent it the humanitarian aid to the east.
Right.
And when we were crossing the Lvov, the city Lvov, what is it, 50
right.
kilometers
Right, yes.
from
near
the,
Poland, right.
Yeah, from the Poland. The Russians were bombarding the airport, and I told myself, listen, if the Ukraine want to win this war, they need to have its aircrafts and to really establish the military bases, which will be very productive against the Russian bombing. And from this time, I was lobbying every time to give it the aeroplane. You know, how was it at the beginning? Everybody said, oh, it's not possible, we cannot really provocate Russia. But in this moment, when the Russians killed 30,000 of civilians from the Ukraine's side, they are killing every day more and more Ukraine soldiers, Ukraine men. So we cannot only sit here and think, it's quite difficult. What will be the results of the war? How the war will be long? We want to stop it. We want the peace. And peace between the Ukraine and Russia will be never if the Russia has the power to still make the war stronger and stronger and to make any offensive attacks.
So you're one of these people who believe that the only way to achieve peace is by defeating Russia? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Right. And what do you say to people who fear that this escalation is going to lead to a nuclear exchange? What do you say?
I have to say that really Russia promoted many times that they will use it Ukraine power. But I'm absolutely sure that they will not.
That you're sure that they won't use nuclear power?
Because they are not stupid. If they will start it, then it will change all the situation on the world. And I think that all the support, they have it now, still support of China. If they will use it, the nuclear power,
they will lose.
They will lose it.
They will lose the support of China if they use
Central
nuclear.
Asia countries, many of the countries, now they have it Iran behind, but Iran will never support it Russia if they will use the nuclear bomb.
Okay, so you're saying the threats that we hear regularly, they're bluff. That's a
Absolutely,
bluff. Yeah.
it's bluff, but they want to provocate it. And listen, the Russian propaganda, how they use it. Today had it the British director of MI6,
Yes.
the speech in Prague.
Right.
And he said essential things. The Ukraine is doing very great job for all the Europe. If they are not fighting, we will lose it as a Europe, and the power of the Russia will increasing in our countries. And you can see how huge damage Russian propaganda did in the country as Slovakia, Poland, Romania, Bulgaria, Moldavia, Georgia, and other countries. And we have to stop it. And now is the time to stop it.
The propaganda. Stop the propaganda.
Stop the propaganda and Russian influence. Because with Russian influence, it's not democracy. With Russian influence is threats. You know, in the COVID time, how they were influenced the society with the fake news about the COVID and that USA is behind, etc. You know how the Russia propaganda influenced the Brexit. Also, it was the biggest special operation in the planet. What they did, how they influenced the U.S. election with Donald Trump against the Hillary Clinton. They supported Trump openly. Also, they gave him with the robots the power, and how they influenced the referendum about Catalonia. We have it real evidence about the influence of Russia.
Okay. Just one question on that. What about the people who say that the final peace solution will have to involve Ukraine giving up some territory, perhaps the Russian-speaking areas? What do you think to that proposal?
I think it's really stupid. It's part of Russia propaganda. All these people, you can speak Russian, but you are still Ukrainians. I think that 6 years ago or 10 years ago, the people in the West will understand it. But now nobody will understand it. Because if you will give it the part after the Crimea or after this war, part of the land to the Russia will be winner of the situation. For Russia, it's huge victory, and it will be really the biggest loser. Not Ukraine.
Okay.
It will be the European Union and USA, the supporter of Ukraine army.
And explain to me a bit, please. What's the public opinion in your country, in the Czech Republic? Because obviously in Central and Eastern Europe now, we see opinion is. I think it's fair to say that there is some division. Obviously, we have the Hungarian position, which is the so-called pro-peace position. Splits in Bulgaria as well. Some division in Bulgaria. What's it like in Czechia?
In the Czech Republic, we took 500,000 of Ukrainian refugees. They are excellent workers, they have excellent skills. Children are still studying in the Czech schools. They are amazing students. Some of them are winner of the Olympic Games in the Czech language. Also, they have better skills of Czech language as the Czech citizens. Also, it shows that they are fully integrated. If I will speak about overview about the Czech Republic, is support Ukraine. Czech Republic was first state, and I am very proud of them, that we gave the heavy weapon to Ukraine. We sent it tank T-72, and we are still every week sending 4 or 5 tanks 72. I think that no one from the West, I spoke 2 days after the Russian invasion with the Spanish, German and French diplomat, and they told me the Ukraine will fall down.
Well, they'd be defeated. They expected a quick defeat.
Very quick, in 3 days, in 5 days,
Right.
and Zelensky will be killed, etc. I said, listen, I am not sure that you are right. And in these times, I started to fight for Ukraine, especially in the France, Germany, in Sweden, and in many countries.
Okay, and is it fair to say, and let's talk a bit about sanctions then, because as I understand it, the Czechs have been one of the peoples who have been hit hardest by sanctions in that energy prices have gone up. Is that true?
That's true. The prices of energy were the highest in the European Union, because we were really, we had it a lot of Russian oil and gas.
Right.
And when the war started, the price were very high, and we have it still. Our nuclear program based on a Russian platform. Also for Dukovany, we are taking the Russian technologies. Also, this was very hard, but now we are stable, and we are looking forward. We have it zero gas from Russia.
No imports.
After 1 year, no. We organize everything, and we are very proud. we will never support it, really, the bastards what are killing and raping the civilians, what are killing and raping the children. We have it our own experience from 1968. And I will tell you, if the Russian will come to us, I am not only a member of European Parliament, I'm soldier and reservist. And
You're a reservist?
I am reservist,
yeah.
and I will be first who will take the gun and who will be prepared to really defend my country.
And what you're saying is the majority of Czechs feel like you?
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
If you speak on social media, you can see some of collaborants what want to
Collaborators, you mean, with the Russians?
With Russians.
Right.
But in the practical life,
Yeah.
many people are like me. We want Czech Republic safe and proud country, and in Poland it's the same situation, and maybe in other countries. In Slovakia something changed. In Hungary you mentioned it's very difficult, but Czech Republic and Poland we have
more or less the same position. Right. On sanctions, I mean, obviously we have a European regime or a Western regime of sanctions. Some people say they don't work, obviously, because you have countries like China and India maybe helping to circumvent, to bypass the sanctions. What's your opinion on that? Is the sanctions regime effective?
Sanction regime will be effective when the French company and German company and Italian company will not have it profit from the Russia. Ocean, the biggest supermarket, is still working their Nestle and other companies, and it's shameful. It's really, we have to criticize. I have a list of this company what are still earn money from the Russia,
right.
and I am really boycott all this stuff and all these things from these European companies. It's unbelievable, and I think that you know that in Hitler time, in the Nazis time, there were some companies that were part of this Nazist regime, and I think in this time no one from the West, from the Great Britain, bought the things from this company, and I think now is the time to boycott all these companies what are still through the sanction making a business between Russia and them, and through the Turkey, through the Kazakhstan, through other countries, it's depend. But from my point of view, it's absolutely non-ethical and it's absolutely shameful. If I am owner this company, I will really I cannot sleep, because I will earn a lot of money from Russia, of course, but I think that they are bloody money, and this is something what can be damage the name of the companies.
I want to move on because I don't have much of your time. There are two other subjects I want to talk about. One is migration. I know that you've visited lots of migrant camps around Europe and outside Europe as well. Here in Brussels, the Migration Pact is one of the big subjects at the moment. Are you satisfied with the way the legislation is working out?
No, this pact is horrible. It's really prepared for the situation that the immigration will be same as in 2021. This migration pact we are preparing from 2015, but it's not about the prevention, how to prevent migration, but it's about how to react on immigration. Also, it's gives huge power to smugglers. It's gives the huge power to state around, because they have it now the tools. If you don't want to pay, they will send you more and more migrants, and you will now share the migrants with other countries.
Right, this burden sharing agreement, solidarity agreement. Yeah.
But it's stupid. Look what today the British Prime Minister signed. It's agreement that he will send it all illegal migrants back to their country, including Rwanda. Also, it's absolutely clear step, because how you can face it, this immigration business. And who is behind the immigration business? From the Belarus, it's the Russian GRU and the Russian FSB organized immigration in Iraq, Iran, Pakistan, Sri Lanka.
People traffickers.
Yeah, and they are taking them with aeroplane and put it to the Minsk airport, and from Minsk airport with buses to the borders with Poland, and they're trying to cross the borders. But this is normal illegal migration, and if something is illegal, we have to stop it.
So the solution for you then is not the migration pact, it's simply to return these people to the country that they came from?
Absolutely, and make the procedure very simple. If you are check the person and he's from Morocco, also why you need 12 weeks for any procedure? No, in 5 days I will send him back to the Rabat. I spoke yesterday with Moroccan diplomat. They told us, Thomas, if you know that he has Moroccan passport, is in Morocco any war? No, zero war. Send him back and we will take care about him. The same from Egypt. If he is Egyptian citizen, what is there? There is any war or...
Oh, right, you mean if he's not a legitimate asylum seeker, that's what you mean?
Absolutely.
You're making the difference between legitimate asylum seekers and economic migrants.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
And economic migrants have the options to ask for normal visa procedure and normal green card or blue card or everything what they want.
Right. Okay, so the solution is simple for you, just send them back where they come from. I mean, I'm trying to think now, what about all the people who are risking their lives coming across the sea and lots of people dying, including children? I mean, that's another problem though, isn't it? How do we sort that out? I mean, one thing is sending them back when they arrive, but what about the deaths at sea?
This is terrible, but who is responsible? Who is responsible for that? Smugglers. And how many smugglers we took to the court and gave him 25 years because they were risking another lives of children? Zero. This is the stupid European politics, especially in Italy, Greece, in Spain. We are not investigated these people. We are not taking any action against. Everybody knows who is. Look to the Libya. You can see the new buildings, new really pools of these people. They are most richest person in this planet because they are taking care about the illegal immigration.
They're the bosses, yes.
Absolutely. They are mafia men, and we know all these names. Who was acting against these people? Okay, if we know the names, we know all the mafia people, we have it now, the satellite system, we have it now, all this information what we can take, we have it great cooperation with Libyan intelligences. And why we are not acting?
When you say acting, do you mean take them to court, or do you mean...
Yeah, take them to court or stop it. The Wagner group in Libya, they have it there 5,000 people. And these 5,000 people are involved in illegal immigration. With the guns, with Kalashnikovs, they are taking care about the people, and they have it the strategy. In every boat, what they have it, they put this is boat for maximum 10, 15 people. They put it 50 people.
Right, too many people on the boat, right.
5 women, 5 children, and 40 men.
Right.
They send it 20, 25 kilometers from the borders, and they are calling NGOs.
Right.
Who is acting against the NGOs?
Okay. So your solution then is to act against the bosses, the people traffickers, and against the NGO. And against
this is organized crime. This is mafia.
Right.
If you have it here, the director of the Frontex, and he will be open like me, he will describe you very well the situation, how the smugglers are working with NGOs, and how Europe is sometimes stupid, that he is taking care about everyone.
I want to move on again because we're running out of time, but there's one other subject that I know that you've talked about quite a bit, and that is, according to my notes, it's EU meddling in the internal affairs of the member states. Now, you've voted against sanctions for Hungary, against sanctions on Poland. Please explain why.
Because the European Parliament don't have enough instruments how to solve the situation, and only the instrument what we have is stop the funding.
That you're saying the European they have no way of punishing countries apart from stopping funding. Right.
Show me the legal instrument what we have it.
Right. No. Right. Okay. That is the word. Indeed, the instrument they use.
I cannot do as a person who is responsible for the legislation here in European Parliament any activism. It's activists to present it. We are now really take the sanction against Hungary and Poland, but the people in reality see that Europe doesn't function, and I think that it's better to say, okay, guys, we will not send you money, and I think that if you will not pay €0 to some projects, I think that this country will change a lot. And
so hold on, you're saying you approve of the tactic to refuse funds or not? I don't understand.
Yes, I am for that we will stop funding the money from European Union. This is what we can do. What is the realistic step? I cannot have it here only promotion what we are doing.
So what do you object to then when you voted against sanctions? What is?
Because we don't have it as a European Parliament to propose any sanction against member states. This is not our if you read the treaty, there is
no power.
No power.
Right.
This is only proclamation.
Oh, I see. Okay, but you're in favour of the EEC putting pressure on these countries via refusing to give them money.
Absolutely.
But you say the EU has no right for any other kind of sanctions.
Yes. I cannot be part of activism. I can make the realistic politics, and this is why I was against.
When you talk about activism, what do you mean, activism?
There are some people from the Greens who are every time saying lies to European citizens. They are saying that they have it power to do this. But this is not true. In reality, we are co-legislators
yeah.
in European Union.
Right.
Also, we have it same power as the member states.
Right.
And I think we have to explain realistically what the European Parliament has for the sanction. Because people every time ask me, Thomas, what you will do with this problem, but it's not our responsibility.
So you're saying the European Parliament can't do anything and shouldn't do anything?
Absolutely.
That's your position. We've run out of time, Thomas. I would like to carry on for much longer, but we can't. I thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.